Yo, 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 welcome back to AGDQ 2015. I am apparently your DJ, Spike Vegeta. This music is pretty sick. Yeah, get hyped, everybody. This is my most hype run of the marathon. It is the Donkey Kong Country 2 four-way race. For a while, we thought it was going to be a three-way race. Krauser has finally arrived. He's in the building, about to sit down at a TV. It's going to be hype, guys. And just like the Super Castlevania 4 race earlier today and the Super Metroid run of last year, four of the top runners, four of the top times in this game are being represented here. We've got Reflected, the Claude, dragonballjoseph, and Krauser 318. I think those three numbers were right. I don't know. AGDQ 2015 is brought to you by Something Artistic, World 9 Gaming, Tiny Build, Humble Bundle, The Yeti, and Turtle Beach. Oh, there it is. Those are my jams. All right. This is good. This is good. Not that my opinion means much, but in my opinion, or IMO for you internet people, Donkey Kong Country 2 is one of the top 10 or 15 speed games out there. You've got intense platforming, you've got level skips, auto-scroller skips, wrong warps. You have got all sorts of crazy, crazy tech in this game, and for the best players in the world at it. Should be a tight race, should be exciting, can't wait to see it. So if any part of you is thinking about going away, don't do that. Or if you're going to go away, do it right now. Get some popcorn, sit down, get hyped for this race. And while they're setting up, I also want to remind you guys that right after this, we are going straight into 2D Mario Block. Be leading off with Game J06, bringing to you Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. Followed by Mitch Flower Power, Super Mario Bros. 3, a four-way any % race of Super Mario World, and then Kaizo Mario World, raced by Carl Swaggin, or Sagan, and Dram55. And then actually finishing off with New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I had to scroll down, I apologize.
Have we asked the runners what they are putting their donations towards? The runners.
We have a $100 donation from Sarah Woods. I lost my brother to cancer years ago. The last present he got me included Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. And in his honor, this donation goes towards seeing that game done. Good luck to all the runners. Thank you very much, Sarah. I've got a $20 donation from Abraham and Sonia. I am donating in memory of the two aunts I lost to cancer the last few years. Thanks for doing this, guys. It's not the first time I see this, but it is the first time I donate. Won't be the last. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, both of you. Yo, I got a $15 donation from my boy Robo Sparkle. Was going to go to sleep, but with Spike's epic voice, thank you, I decided to donate instead. And Spike, you can put it to whatever you want. Heart. Sorry, I can't be there myself. Robo, I hope I see you again soon, buddy. We've also got a $10 donation from some crazy hacker. All right, sick. Donkey Kong Country 2 is my favorite game of all time. Good choice. So obviously I have to donate. It also happens to be about animals. Yeah, you know where I'm going. Save the animals. Also, to build off of that donation from earlier, next upcoming donation incentive is a bidding war for which Fire Emblem game you want played. It's a bidding war between Fire Emblem, Radiant Dawn, and Path of Radiance. Currently, Radiant Dawn has a sizable lead at $2,152.86, with Path of Radiance at $1,152.61. I need to learn where to put my emphasis. I apologize. So yeah, if you want to see Path of Radiance, you do have all of 2D Mario Block and this game right here in order to get those donations in. Certainly still plenty of time left. And then later on, it looks like early tomorrow morning, we have a donation incentive for the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind to do a bonus any % run. Currently, that is a little under halfway there at $1,417.51 out of 3,000 total. And once again, I want to give a big shout outs to the staff for making the choice to delay the DKC2 run. All the hype was to get all 4 of these runners here, so I'm glad Krauser was able to join us. In addition to the 4 excellent runners we have gone for this game, we do have the 2 runners who had the race of this at Summer Games done quick, Garrison and Twig. So, should be good. Doing the commentary, I should have specified that a little more. Very knowledgeable runners, obviously, themselves. I've got a $101 donation from Ed with 2 Ds. You're playing my fiance's favorite game, DKC2, so I guess I have to donate now. All the runners, staff, donators, and people in the chat spreading the word should feel proud of themselves for the good they're doing over this week. Thank you very much, Ed.
Seems pretty full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's gonna be a good one.
Apparently I'm on camera. I will do my best not to pick my nose. Scratch myself. Well, where can I scratch myself? Can I do there? Is that fine? All right. 45 minutes is way too long for me to not scratch my nose.
No, that was before it. It's just this was pre. That's right, you're right. I meant
No, this was found after.
it was after, yeah. It's okay. Testing.
I got a $133.70 donation from Josh 4. I lost my dad to mantle cell lymphoma last June. This is my second AGDQ, and I love what you are all doing. Here's hoping we can break 1 million again this year. Thank you, Josh. I've also got a $200 donation from Nick Weasel Frynett. You folks are doing some awesome work. My family lost a family friend to breast cancer, so anything we can do to help prevent it is a cause that I can support. Best of luck with the rest of the event. Thank you very much.
I'm so scared for a minute. That's my ringtone. I was like, is my phone on?
Shouts to DuckTales. I hope this practice is giving all of you an idea for how crazy this game is and how technical it is. Here we go.
I'm ready though. Yeah. Let's go.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the race.
Me?
I'll do sick cheat mode.
Good choices.
Oh, what? Oh, okay. I was flagging down. Okay, yes. All right, I'm gonna go down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo!
Okay, so this is Donkey Kong Country 2. The first thing you need to know about this game is the first 2 worlds are basically developer-placed warped worlds. So every level has a warp that's intended to be used. However, there are some, such as 1-2, it has something called a wrong warp, several ways to do it, some faster than others. The basic concept behind the wrong warp is every object that you have has a specific ID assigned to it. So you want to get rid of that object while maintaining the ID. And we have a lead decided already.
Yeah, so Krauser hit that wrong warp.
That's what Krauser came here for.
Big shout outs to the Zelda 2 community for doing their run, letting Krauser.
Yeah, Zelda 2 and Zelda 1 communities really helped us out last minute, so we appreciate that.
So you'll see at the end of the stages that they're swapping the Kong on top of the target goal, and that's so they can finish the stage without having to jump on the actual pad, and they can swap Kongs without having to waste time.
Krauser's attempting to do the top sail wrong warp right now, which is considered one of the hardest wrong warps in the game. And he got it.
So one of the nice things about this game is that there's very, very little RNG. It's only on the bosses. However, this first boss is the worst in that after the first 2 hits, he can either give you a real egg or a fake egg. And each fake makes you lose 3 seconds.
Crow is the reason many donkey runners reset in World 1 for the World 1 Infinite.
So there's another wrong warp in 2-1. You pick up the chest, bounce on the enemy, and you get an invisible object, and then go into the normal warp and
Out of the level. Krauser just did a 2-1 jump into the regular barrel that goes to the end of the level. It's a nice time saver.
So in 2-2, there is a way to do a super jump where you basically team up and throw while you're on top of the hook, and when you jump off, as your Kong is returning to you, you get a free jump, and that lets you get the underside of this warp barrel, and it just saves about 3 or 4 seconds. This game has a lot of tricks like that where there's very vague windows. There aren't a whole lot of visual cues for the tiny frame windows that are in the game.
So the rest of this world is pretty straightforward in terms of warps, but coming up on the second boss, there's a skip they can do. After the first 3 hits, they can glide across the entire boss room, which we call the lava fly, and that lets you get the 4th hit in early, and it saves about 4 seconds, so it's scary though.
You essentially need to land in a very specific way. Fortunately, the runners can buffer a jump by holding jump right before they land, and that'll give them just enough to save themselves, basically.
Pretty much the story of this game is you risk losing 40 seconds to save about 4, if you're lucky. You'll also see them do some small time savers like dropping the cannonball on the boss for the first hit so they don't have to throw it.
Alright, DJ's going for lava fly. And he got it. We have a flying ditty. Oh, we have 2 flying ditties.
For the fans.
For the fans.
One of the most important tricks in the run, for sure.
So after the first 2 worlds, there are no more developer-intended warps, and It's where the majority of the platforming really begins.
Yeah, this is like the real first stage in the game.
And coming up in the middle of the stage, you'll see him do a weird team-up throw into one of these barrels. And you're like, well, that kind of seems slow. Why would you do that? And that sets up a trick, a damage boost, later in the stage, where it will send you further up so you can glide over this really slow section. You see Krauser do it right there.
As I was saying earlier, there's a lot of different super jumps in this game, and the main one that people think of is just something to do with team throwing. You team up in a specific way, and it gets interrupted one way or another, whether it's through an enemy bounce or going into a barrel. And when you take damage, you receive extra height. You'll see that in several different places.
Coming up is Glimmer's Galleon, which is a pretty hard level to navigate in terms of optimization, but it's a pretty simple level overall, a basic level. Taking like quick corners can save time, and hitting walls can be a detriment.
It's deceptively difficult.
Yeah.
Like, you can lose 10 seconds without even knowing it.
Yep.
Also, swapping Kongs underwater is faster, and that's why you see Krauser swap it there. DBJ does the same. Oh. They also choose to take this lower path here at the end to, there's lag if you go up to the top because there are too many enemies. So you'll see a little deviation that Claude is actually keeping Dixie, and that's because he's going to try and do a goal swap here at the end. Shoutouts to Kipples.
Shoutouts to Gibbons.
He is the runner who first thought of doing that, or revolutionized it.
So this is like one of the hardest and like the first hardest level in the game. It's really easy to lose a run here, slip off a platform, but overall really nice looking level.
It's just platforming at its purest.
Yeah.
A lot of rolls you need to do very late, and the jumps need to be timed very well, or else you risk falling into the water. And just dipping into the water can be very risky because it has a kill field very early on.
So you can see with the roll, you can jump at any point out of the roll, and you can also roll over gaps.
Rattle Battle is the first appearance, well not the first appearance, but the main snake level in the game. The number one thing about the snake is he has a very shady hitbox, and he takes damage in very peculiar ways. The main trick in this level is reliant on how you scroll the enemies on screen, because that determines where in their cycle they are when you bounce on them. So just the tiniest bit of bad movement can result in taking unnecessary damage.
And they're also constantly jumping because the snake doesn't like run normally. So being in the air is always quicker. So this next stage, you're going to see them roll into the water and then swap really quickly. And that sets up another damage boost by having one Kong underwater and one over water. It messes up your physics to where you go super flying in the air. Now, normally in this level, the water chases you and there's a fish. But because they went up so quickly, it's unloaded the water, and they can drop into this bonus. Oh. So there's a wrong warp in this level, using the invisible object. Poor Krauser.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you go into the bonus here and you miss it, you are stuck at the halfway point, so you have to actually just finish the level normally.
Yeah, there's no way to reset it.
The first part of Bramble Blast, there are several barrels that are aligned in a way where if you press jump at the right time, you'll just automatically shoot straight through them, some in succession like Claude just did. And they save a pretty good amount of time to get. However, the window is fairly small.
Yeah, and you can't just mash it out either. You have to time it.
There's a cool damage boost that Claude just did to get your Kongs in order, and you need them in the specific order to do a fairly big trick. It's called the vine clip, and what you need to essentially do is throw your Kong and get extra height, and you end up in a position in the vine where you can just barely peek through and throw your Kong into a barrel.
Very nice, DBJ and Claude.
Cudgel is a fairly boring boss, but it does have an interesting kill that saves a very minimal amount of time. What you're going to see them do is you're going to see them wait and get behind Cudgel as he's dropping, but they need Cudgel to be basically facing away from you, and you need to throw it as soon as he touches the ground. If you do it too early, you waste your barrel, which drops 15 seconds. And that's very bad. They know which phase they are on because they count the breaths that Dixie has.
Hope Dragon remembers what cycle he's on.
Oh, nice. All four with the vine clip.
Vine clip is a very impressive trick. It's about 8 seconds saved doing that. By far the most thrilling part of the race. So, Hornet Hole is a level that is kind of unusual for the series. It's mostly a Dixie Kong level. It's just faster and easier to do it with Dixie here as opposed to Diddy.
Sorry, go ahead. One thing we want to mention is at the end of every world, they're trying to end with Dixie because her ending animation with the guitar solo is faster than Diddy's rap. And so that's one of the main reasons you actually keep as Dixie here. It's not faster to switch to Diddy, and she can glide over the honey.
So what you're seeing them do is called Scrolly Scroll. The game really doesn't like it when you have a spider on a hook on a web at the same time. It's fairly easy to mess up if you don't know what you're doing, and you can actually end up perma-stuck.
Yeah, it's soft lock the game.
So this is one of the first auto-scrollers of the game, Target Terror. There is pretty much almost nothing you can do to make this level faster other than optimally jumping into the next cart, and you can skip a couple jumping on enemies. So it's a nice breather in the run. Before the most stressful part. So in the past, the next level, Bramble Scramble, has been one of just the hardest levels in platforming. But in the past 6 months?
August, actually.
Sometime around August.
Yeah.
Claude found a new wrong warp in this game in Bramble Scramble. And it saves about a minute, and it's incredibly difficult.
The thing about this wrong warp in Bramble Scramble is it saves such a large amount of time that even if you fail it, which is kind of like a one-shot deal, it is faster to just die and try again than to try and complete the level normally. So it's definitely a decider.
I'd like to also remind you guys of a couple of upcoming donation incentives. Again, you can donate for whether you'd like to see Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn or Path of Radiance tonight. It's about a $900 deficit, Radiant Dawn in the lead. So make sure you get your donations in for that soon.
Okay, so the basic concept behind this wrong warp is you are going to get Dixie to hold this beetle, and you're going to rub up against this bramble in a way where the beetle actually gets knocked out of your grip.
Yeah, dragon. As we said, this is an incredibly difficult wrong warp. What is it, like 1 or 2 frames?
It's about a 2-frame window, I believe, or at least it was originally. There are some setups that make it easier, but it's still very difficult and very unreliable.
Yeah, there's also potential to like mess up the actual barrel too. So there's a lot of factors involved.
Nice.
Nothing much to rickety race, just go fast on the cart.
Nice. So coming up for DBJ, this is Mudhole Marsh, and it's probably the coolest level in the game for me, at least.
And the hardest.
In terms of you can roll between all of these chests and things on the ground, and you can go underneath the water and jump back out and not die. This is very technical, very fast, and scary.
And to make it worse, there's a wrong warp in the middle of it. You'll see that coming up very soon.
The wrong warp isn't as huge as Bramble Scramble or Slime Climb. However, it is kind of unfortunate to miss.
So you saw DBJ try and manipulate when these barrels were coming by, scrolling the screen left then right, which we call the wiggle.
Oh,
And he got it.
Very nice.
That's a very scary wrong warp because every movement that you make in that sort of stretch of islands, it can have a very noticeable impact on your IDs. There are a lot of things that you're loading in and out, so.
And you saw DBJ, he just skipped about half the level by doing a super jump off of killing that enemy. Reps going forward. Oh, very nice. So DBJ's got a nice lead, but going into World 5 is it is by far the hardest world in the game, in my opinion. There are 2 or 3 levels in World 5 where it's just very easy to die from one mistake, so this is still anybody's race.
Yeah, this game is very punishing in a lot of different ways, and the end game, especially the last 2 worlds, are about 1,000 different ways to throw away a run.
So coming up is Ghostly. It's the first level in World 5. It's another just platforming level, nothing too crazy other than just some of the rope grabs can be kind of difficult to get and consistent, but it's just a normal platforming level.
You see yet again that DBJ, he scrolled the screen left to get what we call the moonwalk, and it extends your roll. Just a little bit faster.
It also, I believe it despawns the porcupine, and you spawn them later so you can extend your roll speed just a bit more.
Oh, very nice.
Dragon went for
Okay.
there's a roll at that very last rope where you can roll under the cloak and grab onto it. However, the rope mechanics in this game are kind of strange in the fact that sometimes you just go through that rope and there's nothing you can do and you just die. Haunted Hall, you're going to see them doing a lot of jumping on any surface that has some sort of curvature to it. They do not want to jump if they do not have to on a flat surface, though. Just tiny time savers. They're also going to try and jump in the top of the doors to just save very minuscule amounts of time.
I think it's like 1 frame through the door or something. So you may have noticed some of the players are using the J version of the game, and some are using the US. The only difference you will see in this entire run is actually in Haunted Hall. There will be 1 extra B for whoever's playing on the US. That's it.
It used to be more significant in Bramble Scramble because there would be a lot more bees and a lot more cloaks towards the end of that stage, but since we skip it with a wrong warp now, that's the only difference in the speed run, at least any percent.
I've got a $75 donation from I Like Being Smart. Hey everyone, I remember watching Twig and Essentia's runs of DKC2 at old marathons. And when I got to meet the DK folks live at SGDQ, I was so excited. I've been listening to a lot of AGDQ on the road this week for my job, so here's my tip money. I'll donate $10 more for each runner who gets through Web Woods without dying. Good luck. Thank you, I Like Being Smart.
Gusty Glade has a few small manipulation strats with the wind. Overall, though, it's a lot of just platforming, really. These pillars have kind of interesting hitboxes. Sometimes they grab you if you're on the side and you fall down because you can't really jump off of them.
So you saw that DBJ, he picked up that DK barrel and he was actually trying not to. It's very difficult in this game to roll on the edges of things and not pick up objects.
Dragon switched to Dixie a little bit earlier than we used to there. It manipulates the wind cycle into basically starting earlier.
So coming up is Parachute Panic, which is one of the most aesthetically pleasing levels everybody likes to watch. But basically you just bypass all the parrots by using Dixie and using her float and reaching the end goal.
Yeah, so you're supposed to let these parrots drop you down real slow, but I'd also like to note that DBJ picked up the midpoint parrot.
Which is really bad, and I don't recommend anybody learning that.
When you
Very
can
slower.
When you can just hold left and go straight past it. We don't know why.
Unfortunately, DBJ missed the headbutt, which would allow him to bypass that whole section and reach the bottom, but he had the parrot to help him out and get down.
So Webwoods is easily one of the top 3 most difficult stages in the game. Spider is very slow normally, however, if you play very risky, to just put it lightly, you can make it go quickly. Pretty much all the animals, when you take damage, there's a small window where you can get a double jump. And you're gonna be seeing them try and cross gaps with it.
So at the top of your jump, if you press L and R or LRA, any of those combination 2 together, you make a platform right underneath your feet. Too late and you die. The spider also has a mind of his own and likes to auto-create platforms.
The auto platforms are usually very helpful, but sometimes they don't work out.
Dragon spent about 10 hours working on that level, and he got a death list, which is exactly what I expected to happen.
So the little last bit of RNG in this run is actually, yet again, the crow. The barrel can appear on the left, the middle, or the right. And on the left, as DBJ just got, is the worst spawn possible.
Yeah, the barrel spawns aren't really like a huge deal, but at a high level, when you're trying to go for a really good time, it's very, very important to have basically good RNG.
Oh,
And DBJ just got the the glitch where
gotta play it off.
so it only works on Crow 2, but when you die for some reason, you still live and you get the coin and beat the level. But it's only in that one spot.
Yet another animal buddy that does not have very good hitboxes and guard, the fish. As seen.
Ow, ow.
So they take a very specific path to try and help that out.
So Windy Well, it's one of the longer stages that isn't like a pure auto scroller. It has a few interesting skips. There are several places where they intend for you to do a lot of platforming. However, because the wind carries you up, you can skip certain platforms. It's not actually as smooth as Dragon made it look. You need to move in a very specific way or you just fall straight down, and that loses a good chunk of time.
Yeah, he actually skipped 2 wind cycles there of having to go up and down, and it's actually saved quite a bit of time.
The next strat that you're going to see in this is a damage boost. He's going to try and take damage on the top of that B, and it pushes him through there and skips a good chunk of the stage.
Also, I don't know what this is quite new, but
It's a new trick found, I don't know, last 4 months maybe, 5
I
months?
may have done it in this GDQ, but basically, Dragon's holding up to, for whatever reason, it gives you more downward movement, and you can skip one of those B cycles. Oh! Krauser's game just crashed.
oh no!
That's unfortunate.
That's really unfortunate. I have no idea.
So at this point, this trick is practically a marathon staple. Castle Crush has a skip where you take the barrel all the way up to the top, and what you're going to see him do is make magic with it. But it's very important that he does not lose the barrel or take damage, because if he takes damage, the barrel that he has contains a Kong instead of nothing.
This is also one of the easiest tricks in the game, if not the easiest.
I've got a $500 donation from Hunter0000. I have fond memories of 102%ing DKC2 with a friend of mine, and watching this race is awesome. Great job by everyone involved, keeping AGDQ getting bigger and better.
What that did in the most simplest of terms possible, since the trick isn't understood hardly at all, is he got nothing and he made the top of the level spawn in the middle, which saves about 3.5 minutes. One of the biggest developments in this game recently is a strategy to extend your invincibility. So there is a large series of rolls that you're going to be seeing Dragon do, but he's going to set it up by using his beloved Kong, Dixie. It's called Throw Your Girlfriend, and it just gives you a large window to go through there. Dixie's tears are very powerful, and they kill a porcupine, and there you go. And we have our first player in the gauntlet. Chainlink Chamber has another one of those large, wrong warps. It is fairly well understood, so it's pretty easy to get at this point. However, missing it is costly. And there we are.
Nice. So, Toxic Tower I consider to be the hardest level in the game, and that is because of the snake. You can do these glitchy double jumps without having to charge up and wait there. And it has another not an obvious indication on when to do the jumps, so it's much of a feel. And DBJ just beasted that.
It's about, I believe, a 3-frame window, and there's no visual cue for it, so you just have to know it.
And after Toxic Tower, all that's left is the sprint and the final boss. And this game, the last 3 levels can just ruin your run.
Yeah, the gauntlet is very known for people just throwing away their runs. It's just a big choke point. But Dragon is a man among men.
Just take the call.
So that's the jump with 3 U's. It's very important that you have those 3 U's in there to honor the juice. It saves a pretty significant amount of time over the next best strategy. I believe like a second and a half or something like that. Another thing is you can skip the racing fanfare and the start of the race, which saves a couple seconds as well. Unfortunately, lose that on some of the best music in the game, but it's a compromise for speed.
You also see that Claude just skipped that automatic barrel that DBJ took, and that saves, another second because you don't have to wait for that barrel to turn and shoot you.
DBJ actually tried to go for a damage boosted fanfare skip, but unfortunately I missed it.
There isn't much to this boss other than trying to time throwing the cannonball as quickly as possible into when he starts that animation where you can hurt him. And you want to try and have as little dust frames as possible, or dustless. So they all have their own setups on when to throw it and where to throw it from.
I mean, this is pretty close right now between Claude and DBJ, but there's potential for someone to potentially miss a cycle. But we'll see.
Another marathon classic, the blue duo. If you throw your Kong over the I guess it's blue gas.
Oh. Nah, he's got it.
Okay, so we're gonna have final time on Dragon Ball Joseph as soon as the coin drops. And time.
Now.
And time for Claude as well.
Yep. Congratulations on your casual 42s. Oh. Big shout outs to all of the Donkey Kong Country community. Everyone who races, joins, learns.
One of the best communities in speedrunning, in my opinion. Unbiased, of course.
And I can't believe DBJ won after getting midpoint parrot, a clearly inferior strategy.
I can't believe DBJ won after like 9-10 hours of webwoods.
I wasn't even good webwoods either. It was dying every single time. All right, it's going to be time for Reflected here in a second. And time.
Nice finishing pose.
Good show from everyone. Very difficult game, and we have a new marathon world record by Dragon Ball Joel.
Be sure to follow all these guys on Twitch.
Do you guys want to say anything?
Without a doubt, a really race.
Oh yeah, shout outs to RPC.
Shout out for money.
Shout outs to Money.
Shout out to the juice.
Shout outs to money.
Juice wants shout outs.
Shout outs to the Juice, Leppy. Go, 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 go.
Shout out to
New
Sundan.
Anything else, guys? Oh.
Forever.
Thank you all for being patient and watching.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Reflect's got some shout outs here. He wants the Juice, Magic Amy, Claude, Waffle, Raffy, sorry if I'm messing any of these up, 915, Prior, RPC, Nocturne, New Pants, Karahime, Cryptic, Warren, and Leppy.
With that, let's put our hands together and give one more applause for that great race. With that, everyone, that does it for Donkey Kong Country 2. Coming up next, it is the 2D Mario block, including Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World, Kaizo Mario World, and New Super Mario Bros. Wii. We're going to send it to a couple of quick ads, and then we'll be right back.
Well, he was obviously Web Woods, but they were terrible. He was dying that everyone.
That was crazy. He, besides the one when he got to Web Woods, I was like, that's it. It was fucking nuts, yeah.
Yeah, no. Really tough. He had so much time. He was on stage from like on the tower. Like, it's not close enough before he has to go crazy.